Hi everyone, in this video we're going to talk about technical analysis. I don't really like the subject because technical analysis by itself is not really interesting, I feel, for a small retail investor that invests for the long term. The idea is to try to see the trend, where's the market is going, how people feel, and then you look at the graphic of the how the stock is trading during the days, during the last month, and then you try to make conclusion. The idea is that sometimes the story repeats itself, and you're looking at trends. So there's various approaches to do this, but the big danger is a lot of people will think that there's only technical analysis, and some professional portfolio manager will use this technique to kind of try to save a little bit of money on the trade they do, but those trades they're doing it usually because there is a reason behind it, and the reason is usually based on fundamental analysis, which is the most important part of the analysis to be done. It's interesting. I kind of read about it because I was like, I always had this bad idea about technical analysis, but then I was like, okay, we're doing a video about it, so I need to learn a little bit where it comes from. And it's the beginning of it is actually very interesting. It's come from Japan. It was in 18th century. There was basically a rice contract trader. So actually in 18th century they had derivatives. Instead of just selling rice in the market, so you go to market and you buy a bag of rice, they were selling contract. I think they're called futures. Yeah, am I right?
Forward.
Okay, forward.
Yeah.
So basically, they were buying a right to get rice in the future. So the idea is that if the rice is growing well and the weather is good, everyone gets rice, but people want to be sure they have their rice. So they're willing to pay in advance, and technically this process should be very easy to determine the price of rice. People eat usually more or less the same amount, and what's really changed is the amount of rice that is produced. But this trader, he was making a lot of money in Japan, and he realized that a lot of time the price of those forward was not determined only by the rice production. There was a lot of emotion going on and a lot of irrationality. And instead of just pricing in terms of like supply and demand, he developed this candlestick approach that is still used by some investors today. So I'm not a specialist of technical analysis, but that's kind of where it comes from. The idea is that not everything is completely rational because people on the capital market are kind of crazy. Actually, can you tell me more about technical analysis? All I know is they come from Japan and that I don't like it.
Oh, okay. So to explain a bit more what technical analysis is, this is a complete opposite approach from fundamental analysis. We talked before, you look into the company's financial health, but technical analysis, you do not look into this company at all. You only look at the stock price history and whether it's trending up or down. Let's say in the past it had a little mountain shape, so you're assuming it will keep repeating this pattern. When it's down to $30, it's for sure going to bounce back because history said so. This is basically what technical analysis is. As a retail investor myself, I'm not a huge advocate for it for two reasons. Because for most of the technical analysis, it has a huge assumption. The assumption is history repeats itself. Of course, sometimes it does because a real reason behind it. When people are crazy about something, this craziness will continue for a bit, so there's a momentum. But a lot of the time, it might not have a real rationale behind the pattern, so I don't know if there's a guarantee those will repeat. A second reason, which is more important to myself, is that doing technical analysis will cost a lot of time. So every day you're looking at the chart and you're analyzing the pattern. I don't think I have that kind of time. So I like to do fundamental analysis. Once I decided and bought a stock, I let it sit in my portfolio for a quite long time. Yeah, that's my approach.
So basically when you buy, whether an ETF or a stock, you're not doing technical analysis, you're just doing the fundamental.
Yes, mostly,
okay.
yes.
Thank you.